Hey, this is Ryan McDonald from Shade Digital, and this is digital marketing tip number 5, why revenue share aligns interests of both the client and the agency. So there's a lot of common ways, a lot of common pricing agreements between ad agencies and their clients. Hourly rate, retainer based are the two most common. And it's pretty apparent, right? Most agencies price hourly rate or retainer. But there's another way of pricing your value as an agency that completely changes the game when it comes to aligning the interests of the client and the agency. With hourly rate pricing and retainer-based pricing, there's always sort of a push and pull of divergent interests. And I can get into those at another time, but revenue share agreements merge the interests of the client and the agency. And so here's what it is. And this is common for SEO agencies. This is common for digital advertising agencies. I haven't thought of how this works in other manners. Like if I'm a video production agency or a graphic design agency. It's just much harder to put the value, like a hard number value on that work that people agree to it. But when it comes to what I do, digital marketing, SEO, CRO, there's it's very easy these days to track the effectiveness of online advertising. Right? You pick an attribution system with your clients, say, data-driven, first click, last click, custom model, time decay, whatever you want to do. And you got to agree beforehand, before you do a revenue share agreement, have an attribution model that you guys can both agree to, because if you're an agency optimizing around first click, and the client's looking at things from a last click perspective, it's going to cause some mess. That's for sure. It's going to cause some mess. And so agreeing to that attribution system beforehand is key. And let's just say a normal PPC arrangement. Someone hires me to run their paid search campaigns, Google, Bing, Yahoo, and they're an e-commerce company. And this is great for e-commerce companies. If an e-commerce company hires a digital marketing agency to run their advertising and they don't use revenue share agreement, I think it's a mistake. It's a perfect opportunity to align both interests. So let's say, and for me, the revenue share agreement percentage relies almost entirely on ad spend and conversion rate, right? If they have decent conversion rates, and if their ad spend budget is high enough, right? If someone only spends $1,000 a month, they're just getting started, and it might be realistic to turn it into $5,000 or $8,000 or $10,000, depending on their site and a whole host of factors. But if I'm taking a 5% revenue share off of $5,000 in revenue, that's just it's what, $250? It's completely undervaluing my services. So I would never consider this option for lower budget clients or clients who are just getting started. This is for companies who have a track record, who've been in business for, let's say, at least 6 months, at least a year, and they have a decent idea of their conversion rate. They're actually a business, that is sustainable. So if someone has, let's say, a $50,000 a month advertising budget and they're an e-commerce company, this is perfect. And I have a sliding scale based on ad spend. So the higher the ad spend, the less percentage I take. If someone is going to spend $5,000 a month in ad spend, I'll probably take, let's just say 6%. And granted, there's other variables before that you have to take into consideration. But if someone's going to spend $1 million a month, I'm probably not going to take 6% of that revenue. It'll be more like 3% or less. It depends, but that's very typical for a revenue share agreement to be a sliding scale based on ad spend, right? And I'm confident enough in my results to say, hey, if we don't get you the results that you need, a certain cost per sale or a certain return goal, I will work for free that month. I'm confident enough to say that in my revenue share agreements, that if we don't 5x your ad spend, I'm free. My services are free. And that's very rare in advertising. So rare that I've only encountered that a couple times. But I know the quality of my own work, and I'm willing to do that because I'm willing to put in the work and help other brands succeed. So why does it align interests, right? If the advertising agency always wants to make more money, right? They're a business. Every business wants to grow. And if you're not taking in new clients, you're trying to get more out of your current clients. That's super standard. It's just the way a business works, right? The upsell process begins once they're through the door. And the client, let's say an e-commerce company, has the opposite, right? They want to keep their fee as low as possible to maximize their own bottom line. So there's a divergence of interests there. Agency wants as much money as possible. Client wants to pay as little as possible. This has been going on since advertising agencies existed, right? This dynamic. Well, with revenue share agreements, the advertising agency has to increase the value to the client if it wants to get paid more. That's the beauty of revenue share agreements. If the agency wants more money, they need to provide more value. And not just like in a hey, fluffy sort of upsell aspirations. No, you need to impact the company first. You need to impact the top line and the bottom line if you want more share of the pie, if you want to increase your monthly earnings as an advertising agency. So the client's happy, right? The client's going to be just fine with paying more per month if you grew their revenue 3 times more than that additional sum that you're asking to pay, right? It makes sense, and it's shocking how few people take advantage of this pricing mechanism. It's shocking, But at the same time, it's not entirely shocking. There's very little innovation when it comes to advertising agency business models, and clients don't volunteer how they're going to pay you, right? They don't say, hey, it's very unusual for a client to say, hey, I'd prefer to pay on a revenue share agreement, or oh, hey, I'd prefer to pay on a cost per lead basis. And I'm going to have videos and blog posts detailing different agency pricing methods and different methods that I offer. I give quite a bit of flexibility in payments for my clients. But so if you are an advertising agency, offer your e-commerce company clients revenue share agreements, especially if they meet the other variables. It's good. Your life's going to be great in terms of dealing with them on a day-to-day basis and aligning interests long-term for a long-term partnership. That's what it is. It's a long-term partnership. And if you're a client, give it a shot. It's the way to price things. If you can come up with a solid agreement, ask for it. Ask for revenue share agreements. It's going to make the relationship a whole lot smoother if you do. All right, this has been Ryan McDonald at Shade Digital. If you like this video, subscribe, share, comment. I love hearing feedback. So if you have any feedback, leave it in the comment section. So, all right, thank you.